Hello there. I thought it was time to do a video update, video diary of sorts. I haven't done one of these in years, maybe. So I'm a bit stiff and uncomfortable. Please bear with me. I just wanted to use this, like I said, as a sort of video diary because I can't seem to write down any of my thoughts on paper, and it would be useful for me. I would really like to do it, and actually I even bought this very nice notebook, Alice in Wonderland themed. You see how beautiful it is? I bought it with the purpose of using it as my new diary because I didn't like any of the notebooks that I had. My old diary just makes me anxiety to even look at it. I've been using it for so many years that I don't want to use it anymore. So I bought this notebook specifically to write on, and I haven't written a single word on it. It's empty. It's such a waste. But yeah, considering I can't make myself write a single word on this, I will just speak to the camera and see if I can make some sense of my thoughts by telling them all to the camera and to you guys by extension. I guess we could start with what's been going on in my life lately. The biggest news that I have is that I finally got a job after a very long and arduous process where I was searching and I spent hours going on these apps, going through different offers, and I was getting more desperate by the minute because I couldn't find anything that I saw myself doing until I came across this one offer that was a receptionist offer in a multinational company that's known for making computers and printers and things like that. And I thought I could do that job well because they wanted someone who spoke English, who had, some sort of people skills. I applied, I did the interview, and I got the job. Problem is that I thought the work environment would be much better than it turned out to be. I mean, it's not bad, and it's not, I wouldn't say it's a stressful job. It's not a job where you need to be constantly on the go, constantly doing things, and it's not that, but there are some days where it is, because it's a job that changes, the workload changes depending on the day, depends, because some days have more visits than others. And so there were days where I did have to stay longer in there, and I had to go on calls with my boss, and she would have to explain things to me. And this is where the difficult part that I wanted to talk about comes in. I have a very hard time following instructions, like understanding directions. She's like the complete opposite of me, and I'm very grateful to her because she gave me the opportunity to have this job. She was the one who believed in me. But with that said, there's also, she has this workaholism to her. Like she tells me about how many hours she has to work every single day. She tells me that she sleeps very few hours. She's constantly having to do work from home and feels like she doesn't have a life. It feels like all she does is work, 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 and she still doesn't seem to meet all her deadlines and all her projects and stuff, because she's always stressed. She's always like, you know, go, 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 always, always. And I don't really, it makes me very uncomfortable to be under someone who is dealing with that much stress, because I put myself on her shoes and I try to help as much as I can, and when I see I cannot help in the way that I would want, because I'm not as fast as it would be required, for me to take some of that workload off of her shoulders. I'm not fast. I'm not, I don't have those qualities that she maybe would need me to have for me to help her more. So and it really frustrates me, because I see how much she needs to work every single day, and I see how tired she is. And it makes me feel bad. I don't like it. I know it's not my responsibility, and I just wish she would talk to someone above her, like her own boss or her own bosses, and she would do something, because I don't understand how anyone could live that way for an extended period of time, like working 12 hours a day, sleeping 4 hours a day. It's not sustainable. I mean, and I don't like being in a place that enables that kind of dynamic. I don't like it. It makes me want to quit the job, just because of how I see my boss suffering, and I don't like it. And besides all this thing with my boss, there's going back to what I said before, the thing about how I struggle with some aspects of the job. And granted, I've been doing this job only for 4 months, but it's still a struggle. Sometimes there are still things that, when many things pile up, or when I have to do more than one task at once, it's like my brain short circuits or something, and I forget the basics, and my boss, she gets mad at me. She tells me I cannot make those kinds of mistakes, and there are things that I have to know already perfectly well. But to me, 4 months, I'm going on 4 months, is not that long, honestly, to have a job completely, under control. So I'm going easy on myself, but I still get very frustrated, because I write everything down. I try to keep myself as focused as I can. I don't use my phone. I try not to look at my phone the entire time I'm working until I get my break. I try to be in the zone doing the task at hand, and I still make mistakes that are very silly and that make me mad, make me ashamed, because those mistakes, who has to fix them when I make them? My boss. And all of that extra work is something, that she shouldn't be having to deal with. She already has enough. And so I'm trying my best to, make less mistakes. I mean, I know I make less than when I first started, but I still make more than I would like, And besides all of this, there's also, the continuous doubt about whether or not this is the job that I really want to do, because that's a whole other beast, and something that I just don't know. I don't know what I want to do. I have no idea. I don't think, I have the feeling that I will never truly know. and that finding your passion when you're as confused and as depressed as I am is just like a myth, because I don't feel true passion for any kind of job. Just the idea of doing something 5 days a week, like for the rest of my life, the thought of that is enough to make me go, oh no, no, no. Is enough to make me go like, I can't think of anything that I would like to do for that long, you know. Maybe the answer is having different jobs, changing jobs every 2 years, but is that really sustainable? Because then I have to adapt to a new job, and then that takes a while, and you know, part of me would like to have more stability, at least in that department, because I can seem to find stability in any other thing. I think it would be nice to have some stability work-wise, but I don't see myself getting there anytime soon, you know, because I just started this job and I can already feel myself getting tired. But putting aside how grateful I am that I got the job in the first place, I'm gonna focus on the negative for a second. I'm already tired of the masking involved in, you know, being in constant interaction with people. And it's just a part-time job. I don't even have to do the full 8 hours. And that also is another struggle on its own, because the money I make is so little that I can barely pay my rent of this room that I live in with an old lady that I cannot stand. So it's like, is this really it? Like, should I look for something on the side to do in the afternoons? Or would it be better to find one job that paid more, with more hours? Would I be able to work for 8 hours? Would I be able to sustain that? I mean, I have been working 9 hours Monday to Friday for the entirety of February, and it was so exhausting. I just came home and slept. That's all I did, because also adding up the time it takes me to go from there and come back, it's just not sustainable to have this receptionist job to do the full-time option. So now I'm back to doing the part-time option with this job, and I prefer it that way, because then I can go back home in the afternoon and I can sleep for a little if I need to, because I get so tired. Like I was saying, I get so tired of just, you know, the tension that's always there for one thing or the other. Now also with a new coworker I have that's doing the afternoon shift, and she's, you know, making some mistakes, you know, normal mistakes, and some other mistakes that maybe according to my boss are not that normal, but whatever. I'm like in the middle, you know. I have to deal with my own mistakes and how bad I feel every time I make them, and then I also have to deal with my boss complaining about the new coworker, the mistakes she makes. And I also feel bad because I was the one who had to teach my coworker, but I don't feel I am in a position to teach this job to her properly, because some things I got down, some others I don't. So let's change the subject already. Work subject closed. You may be wondering why I changed the channel name again. Well, I decided to change it for mainly one reason, and that is I never wanted this channel to be only about music. So why should my name imply that it's only about music? You know? If I call it Clau-chan, I mean, it's like the implication is that it should be about music, but I just want to post whatever I want to post. So I wanted like a more neutral kind of name, a name that only reflects me, and that's it. So I thought Clau-chan would be cute. I don't know. Not very good at picking names or making decisions in general, so just went with whatever popped up. Whatever popped up in my head. And I went with it. I also wanted to talk about how I've been feeling lately. Like generally, my mood, how I've been seeing things lately, what I've been dealing with. And mainly, I've been feeling pretty uninspired and pretty lonely as well, and sad. You know, I like to keep it real on here, very real, maybe even too real, but you know, it really helps me when I see people telling it like it is online. So I might as well do the same myself, you know? I acknowledge that sometimes I can be too negative, I can be immature in some aspects, like I need sometimes too much validation from others. I need others to reassure me, to tell me, you know, that they like what I do, that they, you could say it's normal to want other people to tell you, you know, to reassure you in some way. But for me, it, you know, it makes people uncomfortable sometimes. And I understand it because it makes me uncomfortable too. You know, to really see how much I need other people's approval, how much I still need it, you know. And I know it's like we need to be approved by other people. Like it's a survival mechanism. We are like, I guess you could say, biologically wired to want other people's validation. But I mean, it's been so many years that I've struggled with putting so much weight into what other people think of me and what they say about me and what they don't say, that it's starting to get tiring, it's starting to get old, and it makes me feel, you know, makes me feel small, makes me feel like powerless, because it's like you're leaving all the power, you're giving all the power to the other person, you're letting them decide essentially how you're feeling, because it really changes my entire mood sometimes. And this is the truth, you know. I could come on here and say you shouldn't care what other people think of you because the only opinion that matters is yours, but that wouldn't be true because that's not how I feel. So I want to be truthful to myself and to my feelings, and as much as I try to contextualize what I'm going through and I try to make sense of it, I also think it's important to allow yourself to feel what you feel. So I'm feeling this way. I crave the attention of others, and it's very much one of the reasons I started singing, because I wanted other people to tell me that they liked it, and I wanted positive opinions, and I knew some negative opinions would come as well, but I was so focused on the positive ones that it didn't matter to me. But what I didn't realize, however, is that a negative comment about me, but not about me, about something that I care about myself. For example, I don't care as much if someone tells me, you know, that I'm ugly or something like that. It's not nice to hear, but it's like, it's whatever. But when someone tells me that they think my voice sucks, for example, that really hurts, because my voice is something that I like, that I hold dear, that I think is a quality, a quality that I have, something that I'm proud of to an extent. I mean, it's not the best voice in the world. I'm not ever gonna be a singer for many reasons, but I'm still proud of my voice. I still feel like I have a good voice, and I like using it and sharing it with others. So it really hurts when people say mean things about it, and that's something, I'm still working on it. As I was saying before, I'm working on. It's like a constant struggle, constant something you have to work on every single day of your life, and I'm not really sure how to work on this, honestly, because what should I do? I try to do things anyway, even if I care about what others say. I try to reassure myself. I tell myself the things I want others to tell me, and I still need other people's validation. It's still not the same when I say it.